Alright, so master cylinder replaced, and some brake lines, just some quick bent up brake lines. Now I've got a little bit of brakes. I'm not holding pressure on the rear because one of the wheel cylinders is leaking, so I tore it apart. We got some nasty rear brakes. Here's what we've got. We've got a wheel cylinder that's not holding pressure, it's leaking fluid out. And got a nasty drum. There's a screw that holds the drum on. And there's the head of it. And impact driver set. Couldn't get it out. Heated it, couldn't get it out. So I just drilled it out. Drilled the head off. So got the drum off, and this is the nasty brakes. These pads for shoes are completely gone. So I got a rebuild kit for the wheel cylinder. Hopefully it's rebuildable. If not, I should have, these are different left and right side. So the rebuild kit was like $7 on Amazon. Wheel cylinder is about $23. So I got the kit. We'll see if we can rebuild it, if they're rebuildable. I should have that parts truck out there. I should have another wheel cylinder. I'm sure it's no good, but if this one's not rebuildable, if it's pitted too bad, maybe that other one will be, or maybe the other side. I only bought one kit. I have no idea. The other side's not leaking. I don't know. It could be froze up though. But anyway, I got one kit. We'll see what we can do with that one kit, and we should be able to at least rebuild one of them. And maybe I can get some shoes off that parts truck. Maybe the shoes are good enough. So let me get this torn apart and get this wheel cylinder out of here. So it's gotten to where parts are, you can get parts for these, but none of the parts stores keep them in stock. So they ordered the brake shoes. They should be in probably about an hour or so. I ordered them about 2 hours ago. It's looking a little cleaner. I took the wheel cylinder off and cleaned it up and rebuilt it. I bought a rebuilt kit on Amazon. So it's rebuilt, and I've just kind of got a mess of brake parts here that I need to clean up and get all the stuff off the old shoes. Went to my parts truck and pulled the drums on it, and they're really pitted. They're a little bit thicker. They would clean up better. So I'm gonna just hold on to those for now. I cleaned these up a little bit, and they've got some grooves in them, and but this thing's never gonna be on the road again. Far too rusty. So they're good enough. That one's a little worse, a little grooved, a little worse, but it actually looks worse than it is. I mean, you can definitely feel it, but it's mostly flat. So I think they'll be okay. This side's just as muddy, but it's at least dry. So it should clean up a little better. Bearings got some slop in it. See what this one does. Yeah, I guess they both do. And so we'll see if this wheel cylinder is freed up. It's not leaking, so we'll see if it is freed up. Make sure it's not frozen up, and then we'll just put new shoes on this side, clean this side up. Yeah. So it's coming along, and it should just have good enough brakes for around here. You know, using it to work out of around here. We've got a few acres, so anyway, let's clean this side up, and we'll go get our shoes. Alright, I rebuilt the wheel cylinders, went ahead and got a kit for the other side, did both. The other side was completely froze up. So this side's back together with new shoes, and let's get the drum on and I'll adjust them up. They do have self-adjusters, and all the hardware cleaned up decent. If the emergency, I think it uses the emergency brake to do the self-adjusters, I think. Can't remember, but I'll get them real close, adjust it up real close. I have no idea if the emergency brake cables are even froze up or not, but we'll see. Alright, rear brakes are done. I rebuilt the wheel cylinders, new shoes, cleaned everything up, got everything bled, and now we have brakes. Not the best brakes, but they're pretty good. I have a feeling the calipers are probably kind of froze up. I think mostly what we have now is rear brakes. I don't think we have much for front brakes. It's running pretty good. It's cutting out at high RPM. I think I need to clean up that original carburetor and put it back on there. I don't think this one's quite rich enough. I think the jets are too lean for this motor. That's the inner fender rubbing. You see, it runs good until you full throttle. Either that or this one's got some trash in it, but I kind of cleaned it out, blew it out. This doesn't sound good. Memory, but like I said, it's timing fast maybe on it. Maybe let's check the timing on it. Before I tear into the carburetor, I might check the timing on it. Could be timing. Second gear. Pretty good brakes. You can stop pretty quick. The brake pedal gets stuck, but it goes all the way to the floor. Either our battery's getting low or our timing's fast. This thing's pretty light in the rear end. It's not running that great. It's pretty good. See if we can get this thing running a little better. Might swap the carburetor. I'm gonna check the timing first though. Alright, it calls for about 20, or it calls for 6 degrees advanced. It was about 22, maybe even 24. It was really advanced. And so I backed it off to about 12. It seemed to be idling pretty nice and smooth at 12. So I left it there. Of course, the more you run stuff, the more you start finding stuff that's wrong. The water pump is leaking, and we've got a torn boot up here in the front, so it's probably going to need inner and outer boots soon, at least on this side. You gotta wonder how much effort you want to put into something, you know. But oh, and the inner one, the clamp is broke, so that side is junk. Well, boot wise, this side we're okay for now, it looks like. Looks alright for now. It's seen better days, but one thing after another. But I don't want to ruin the CV joints on this thing, so I probably will order at least that one side for now. Probably won't do the driver's side yet until it tears. So let's see how it runs now. It's starting to rain, but I got the original carburetor back on. I used the inlet from the other one because it doesn't have the return line. So I didn't have to cap the return line by using that inlet. When I pulled this one all apart, cleaned it all out, on the bottom of the carburetor I found one jet that was completely plugged up. I'm sure it was probably the idle circuit. Probably explaining why it would not idle. Hopefully that's what it was. So let's see how it runs now. Let it fill up with gas. Guess I should check, make sure we don't have fuel going everywhere. Don't see any. It's not flooding. Let's start it up. It's starting to rain. Alright. We've got idle circuit. Huh?